I will also thank you all because I think I was not expecting.
Director, Central Water Commission, one of the organizers, and I extend hearty welcome to all of you to this press conference. And I also take this opportunity to thank you all, for giving wonderful coverage to this esteemed event. As we are heading towards the wrap up of this session, we have organized this press conference to give a comprehensive briefing of this 3 days event. And to do this, we have respected Chairman Central Water Commission, Mr. Kushvinder Vohra, an ex officio Secretary to the Government of India. And I hand over the control to you, sir.
So I will just give you the brief of the what has happened during last 3 days. This conference has been organized by Indian National Committee of Irrigation and Drainage, which has done it on the behalf of International Commission of Irrigation and Drainage. Since it was housed in India, so it was done by Icid, and Chairman Central Water Commission is actually the chairman of Icid as well. And we have housed this. This is a kind of event which happens, which has happened actually in India after about 57 years. So this is a very, very prestigious conference which we have actually bidded and taken on our ourselves to have this with us. For a brief introduction, India has been a founder member of Icid way back in 1950s. So India has the central office of Icid is also in India at Delhi. And this conference is a place where we discuss all the issues related to irrigation, drainage, flood control. And last 3 days, if we say, we started with what we say inauguration of the function, which was done by Honorable Minister of Jal Shakti, Shri Girinder Singh Shekhawat ji, and also by Honorable Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh, Shri Y.S. Jagan Mohan Reddy ji. So they have been kind enough to spare some time for us, and they were there in the inauguration on 2nd. So after the inauguration, we had extensive sessions, precisely 18 sessions actually which we had, and about 6 international workshops we had, 12 side events we had, and then 2 international symposium and 2 plenary sessions. So it's a very big kind of discussion and deliberation which we had on these things, and we have discussed in detail about the supply side management as well as the demand side management of the water resources, and these were the prime. This time the question was basically tackling the water scarcity. So if we see that the kind of areas which we discussed, so we discussed almost all the area which were related to the water resources, be it irrigation efficiency, be it empowerment of farmers, be it empowerment of women and water related issues. Then sustainable solution, very important segment was sustainable solution to the water sector challenges in India. So we have discussed the entire segment in that. And then we have brought in some young professionals over here for training aspects and have the exposure to the irrigation practices and the water sectors throughout the world. Then on-farm techniques to improve water productivity is a very important aspect which we have dealt alongside. And this, if we see that this kind of deliberation, so today we will be at 3:30 we will be starting a concluding session where we'll be presenting a detailed report on what kind of recommendations have emerged from this conference. But in brief, I will be able to explain you few of them, the kind of recommendation which have emerged. Details, of course, will be available to you a little later. So one of them is efficient operation of existing irrigation infrastructure is very, very important. And second recommendation and need which has been felt is that climate change is a real issue. We are facing the climate change now. So we cannot really, close our eyes to that, and we have to do something to adopt to the climate change, which is inevitable and which is actually giving spatial and temporal variability of the water resources which are available to us. So for that matter, basically we will have to build our water infrastructure which is climate resilient. So what about that? Means in future, yes, of course, we will be able to plan. In the present also we are planning for the climate resistance water infrastructure. But what happens to the structure we have already built? Whether they are really climate resilient, whether they will be able to, can withstand the impact of say climate change which is going to be there. And entire kind of deliberations are there, and then we have to retrofit, which means we have to analyze all those water-related infrastructures, important structures which are there, to really understand how they fit into the how they are prepared in the sense of climate resilience. But if what we say, and if there are certain issues, they are not climate resilient, then what is to be done to make them climate resilient? So all these things are going, and if you are all aware that there is a real issue of glacier lake outburst floods, which we faced in Sikkim. You must have heard, it's a very big disaster for that matter. And one of our hydroelectric project was Vohra Tista 3 in Sikkim. And so we have reviewed now, we have started reviewing all of those water infrastructure, especially hydroelectric project in the mountain region, which are actually are exposed to the GLOF. This is called the GLOF event. Earlier we did not used to, maybe way back in 20 years back, 15 years back, we did not have the assessment for what is going to the impact of GLOF. But now we are going to review it. We are going to review their design capacities with respect to GLOF as well as rainfall extreme events. So the maximum kind of possible flood which they will be facing, and how we can take. So both structure as well as non-structural measures will be taken as a long-term planning. So this is the main focus, I think, is going to face us, and we have to focus in the next say 10-20 years alongside water management. So water management is going to be a very, very big issue, because the efficiency of irrigation in India is on lower side. We have to increase that to cater to the water, ever-growing water demand, in the competing water demand in all the sectors. So this is going to be there, and then of course other matters related to conjunctive use of surface as well as groundwater, empowerment of women in water. For it's going to be a way, because the women and water is somehow very close close to each other, and probably they are even much better equipped to deal with the water related issues in a better, they have a better understanding, and they can really play a very big role into that. Then participatory irrigation management will have to do it, because at the moment every structure, every irrigation infrastructure is basically is a government owned infrastructure, and they operate it at a government platform. Ultimately we have to prepare our societies. We will have to prepare our farmers societies, water users associations, to be able to take over those systems, and they are trying to run it on their own. Of course there are issues, how it will be possible, what is going to be the O&M cost, who is going to bear that. All those issues will be resolved in time to come, but we have to build the capacity of the farmers to really operate, at least operate those systems to the best of their and they have a wider wisdom than us probably sometimes, to, once the water is there in the field, how to best utilize that. So their involvement is going to be encouraged, and then the use of technology. Actually, now the time has gone. So daily we can see the technology is upgrading itself, and then we have to catch up with the technology throughout, and that is what we have to actually imbibe the latest technologies in the field of water sector to see that we can use our water resources which are available in the most optimal way. So that's the small brief I wanted to give you for this matter, and over to Sunil.
Okay, thank you very much, sir, for giving. And now floor is open for any question related to this conference. Please circulate mic.
Okay.
So please.
Basically, as I told you briefly earlier also, we have basically focused, we are coming out with the recommendations, or what do you say, resolutions, basically in the areas of efficient operation of the water resources structures, increase of water use efficiency, and then climate resilient infrastructure. As I told you, that is going to be very, very important thing. Empowerment and greater participation of women. These are the kind of resolution we are actually working on that. And then participatory irrigation management by the stakeholders, farmers, involvement of the farmers more and more into this, and then adoption of state-of-art technology, which I already discussed with you. So these are the kind of resolution, and then we will be coming up with the elaborate, kind of recommendation in each of these points when we close our sessions.
Actually, this is a manager of PTI. This year is a number of sheet of the
Mic, please, in the front. No, they will also hear what you are asking.
This is the manager from PTI. My question is, this year the number of states in the drought area. What action were taken? What is your proposal?
Yeah, basically this is an ICID conference which talk about the water resources, scenario throughout the world, and especially we as Icid focus on water resources in India. So when we say this is a drought year, exactly I can't say that this is a drought year, but then there are certain issues at the late end of fag end of the monsoon. There were some laggard in the rainfalls and other issues. Reservoir position as on today, 71% of our reservoirs are full, which are monitored by us. About 170 BCM we are monitoring daily basis. So about 71% of that is available, and if we use it judiciously, we will be writing to the states also that these waters, each drop of that is to be used in a very conservative or very optimal way, so that we can tide over till the next monsoon we are expecting. Thank you.
Vohra sir, good evening. I am from the world. Have you discussed that?
Yes, you mean to say the next 2 decades or earlier 2 decades? Yeah, yes. So biggest challenge, as I told you briefly, is going to be the climate change. The good news is the modelers from the Germany and the USA, they have come up with a kind of big modeling exercise, which they have said us that by end of this century, so 2100, we will be having wetter and wetter monsoons, which means that we will, yes, on an average there will be some drought and that thing, but on an average, the water rainfall total will be okay. However, the problem with that is, they have also said so that spatial and temporal variation, which means over the time and space, this is going to be more intense, more frequent, and that is the challenge which are faced, right? So India is a typical monsoon kind of climate, which is monsoon type of climate is not throughout the world. right? So there are some of the countries which have monsoon climate, and some of the countries are different kind of climate. So monsoon, what is happening is more than 80% of our rainfall is occurring in 4 months. Now, when I say 4 months, earlier it used to be 4 months. Within those 4 months, each place is having maximum of 30 downpours. So in 30 downpours, all the rainfall is coming. So rainfall is okay, but then what to do about it? Because how to store it? So that is the big challenge. So we are thinking of the storages, we are thinking of, as I say, climate resilient infrastructure will be thinking about that. Water conservation is a big way. Government of India has also sensitized. Jal Shakti Abhiyan has been taken up. Millions of structures are being built through MG Narega and otherwise for water conservation. Farm ponds have been encouraged, that they have farmers have a small farm pond on they store water during the rain and can be used later during the Rabi season or when the water is needed actually to them. So all these things will have to work together. It's a magnanimous, it's a big task, but it is not it is not an impossible task. And we as the planners, we are really focusing on all these things, and we hope that the next 2 decades we will be comfortably meeting these demands, and by 2047 or 2050, whatever food grain demand is going to be there, we will be comfortably meeting that. Today we are meeting net exporter, but at that point of time also we will be meeting, because we are now focusing totally on the efficiency and productivity. So all these things, what I'm saying is, at the moment with this kind of irrigation, 70 million hectare of area is being irrigated in India, and we are producing 300. But with the 70 million hectare, there are examples that I can build more than 500 million metric ton of the food grain. So this gives me the hope to improve the productivity and efficiency. We'll be able to generate enough food for our population to survive in 2050 as well, and maybe beyond also. So all these things are going on. Thank you.
Any other question?
What the question
water
was?
conservation aspect, so far which country is the role model?
When we talk about the water conservation, I cannot really say. This is a relative question. There are the countries in USA, Russia, or other countries, Brazil, where the water availability is much more than their requirement. 3 times, 10 times, 50 times. So now if so much of water is there, so there is, I can't say that there is a really, they will be talking about conserving that water. But then when we go to the water stressed states, water stressed countries, right? So where the water is less, who has done very well is Israel, probably. At the moment I can think of only Israel, because way back they had a very big problem. All the water is available through sea. Otherwise almost landlocked country, and then they have done a lot in this water conservation, adopting micro irrigation way back, in say 20 years back, or maybe 25 years, 30 years back. So they have done really well for the survival. So the question of them was of the survival, and therefore they have done that thing which was needed for them. So you cannot put a cost to that, for that matter. So Israel I can think of that has done wonderfully well. But India is also doing very well, I can assure you, because the complete focus of each year is basically on the water conservation. We are focusing on the water conservation before monsoons. So after the monsoon, our focus starts for having the water conservation structures, and throughout the country, how can we do it, and then so that before every rain we can increase our water conservation. So increasing every year in the incremental way, we are doing all very well. And as I already told you, Jal Shakti Abhiyan is a main focus area which have been launched by Honorable Prime Minister, and this is monitoring every year. So this year also you will see we will be again launching the Jal Shakti Abhiyan, and then through that we will be monitoring throughout the country the water conservation activities and compile that.
Has there been any discussion about interlinkage of rivers?
Yeah, the discussion on interlinkage of river is going on. And since you know that for the cooperation of all the states will be required wherever interlinking has to be done, so all these things are going on. We have prioritized 4-5 links. Out of that, one, as you might be aware, Kane and Betwa link, that is already grounded, right? So both the states of UP and MP have agreed, signed MOU, and this we have already grounded, and we will be seeing it soon. Others also at a very advanced stage, many states are agreeing, barring few reservation, but then they have to be taken on board. So through completely consensus and cooperation of the states, we are carrying forward this program one by one.
Any other question, please? It seems there are no further questions. We can take up a couple of more questions because we have a couple of minutes left.
But recycling of water, so far the India technology is not at par with the European countries. Are you adopt any technology, any country's technology?
We are talking about recycling of water.
Recycling
That's
water.
Okay, fine. So recycling of water is going to be priority of India, right? It's a extreme priority which we are focusing already. We are looking at. It's not that the technology we don't have. We have the technology and all those things. But the question comes the cost of the technology, right? So it depends. We have a huge area. We have a huge population, 140 crore population, and accordingly sewage is generated. As you are all aware that about 80% of whatever we consume domestically actually comes back in the form of mixed sewage, and we can use it after treatment for various purposes. Our priority remains with agriculture, irrigation, of course we should use it, and then also Government of India has done like for example in Namami Gange we have come up with a lot of STPs, sewage treatment plants and effluent treatment plants for the industries. That water is being actually through an MOU are being supplied to the power plants for their cooling arrangements, as well as they will be done for the local areas where they are available for the irrigation as well. So recycling and the recycling of water and reuse of the water, we have come up with a big guidelines recently to guide the entire process for that matter.
Because of corporate companies, many rivers are getting polluted. On that issue, did you have any discussion?
Yes, this discussion actually goes on the water quality, not exactly in the form of what the question is, but this is a separate question which, if Indian context I say, we keep on discussing. This is at the government level agenda. These are the things which are at the appropriate form. For example, Central Pollution Control Board, then Central Groundwater Authority, and then other Ministry of Environment, Forest. There is the entire act on kind of things. We keep on doing that, enforcing the legislation, enforcing the requirements, right? So ETPs have to be applied with this thing. But if you go through the detail, I will be happy that if you go through the website of Namami Gange, NMCG, you will see a lot of improvement which has happened throughout Ganga as on today. Our BOD as well as dissolved oxygen, both are at the level of 5, almost all the stretches. So this we have to see in that context, and number of achievements have been many things have been blocked, and of course the enforcers they take their action whatever way they are.
As it is an international congress, because of textile industry, we see a lot of water pollution. Rivers are getting polluted because that industry is using huge water. So on that issue, is there any discussion?
Yeah, actually, this time the theme of the Congress was tackling the water scarcity. So it's a theme based, right? Every year we have a different kind of theme. Maybe exactly the water use efficiency in various fields, if we talk about that. When the theme comes, then that thing will be discussed. But in the textile and other thing, what I will just like to inform you, Ministry of Jal Shakti has already had a National Bureau of Water Use Efficiency. So now this National Bureau of Water Use Efficiency will look into the all aspects, not only in the textile industry, but all other industry as well as the agriculture. Agriculture is using, let's focus on one thing and understand, agriculture is using about 80% of water, 80, 90%. Some states have reported 90%. Efficiency is very low, 35 to 40%. If I increase that by 20%, that will release so much of water for me to meet the competing demands. But at the same time, this National Bureau is there, they will be focusing on the best practices, best efficiencies, which should be their standards of water use in various industries, including textile, definitely. So if we try to compare that way, a cup of coffee takes how many liters, and a cup of pant jeans take how many liters. So there's a very big amount which is being utilized in those things. So all that standardization and reducing the use of water in this place, they are being thought of. And now National Bureau, since it has been established recently, this will be looking into all these aspects in the future. Pardon? I'm not able to hear. Basically, as I told you, the issue was not of this time. Issue was actually one very focused water scarcity, how to tackle the water scarcity. So this particularly aspect, is not discussed, but in various side papers which have been presented, they have been discussing and issuing of all these things. But for your information, I will just like to inform you, if we are talking about India, okay, so we have a, if your question is related to how this earthquake can affect our infrastructure or
AP, Andhra Pradesh.
Andhra Pradesh?
Hi sir.
Centric
He
question.
was
Andhra Pradesh centric. Okay, so basically because it was a pan-national or pan-world kind of conference, but we did have presentation from Andhra Pradesh. Andhra Pradesh has presented their water conservation efforts and water resources development. Even Honorable Chief Minister has actually informed about the development in the water resources sector which has been done by AP. So AP practices have been highlighted and have been noted at the conference for appropriately taken up, dissemination for others to pick up wherever they are in the best capacity category.
Hi sir, Srinivas Mahanews. Is there any chance to have been going to ink holes? Ink holes is the most challenging in future. Storage water and rainfall water. Last 3 days sessions, do you have discussed about this?
Storage.
Could you get it?
Storage of
I could not get your question. Can you please repeat? I'm
Ink
not
holes. Ink holes.
ink holes.
Next generation not known about the ink holes.
Actually, water conservation structure.
You are talking about
Srinivas Mahanews.
No, yes.
Look, as I said that these things are part of, because part of the, would we say, kind of, they comes in a various kind of papers. We definitely had many sessions which were related to the water conservation per se, and various techniques have been discussed in those what we say sessions and papers presented, best practices from various states in India, and then maybe Karnataka has also highlighted, Andhra Pradesh has highlighted, but then from throughout world also we keep on hearing on these aspects.
Sir, this is Uday.
Yeah, this would be the last question. Half an hour.
Sir, is there any discussion was happened regarding converting seawater into drinking water? The technology already Arab countries are using it, sir. Is this possible really in India?
Yeah, it's a kind of a need-based thing. So it's really, once it is required, it should be done. It is not that we compulsorily, we should do that. When the fresh water is available to convert, I will not look into that. But then you always know that in Tamil Nadu, we have certain desalination plants, and we are utilizing certain water for domestic purposes. Because at the moment technology is costly, but as we move forward, we are developing certain cost-effective technologies. Even our Daman Diu, even our other places wherever we are having some shortage of the water, we are developing these facilities, and of course wherever, because wherever the sea coast will be there, and since habitation are not able to get the fresh water from long distance sources or some other things. But I think that at the moment Government of India is focusing on Jal Jeevan Mission. So every household is going to have a functional tap water. So that tap water is going to be a good quality tap water. We are talking about the rural area at the moment. Of course, urban mission are doing with for the cities and other things. But the cities which will be facing scarcity, definitely this is a solution. We are moving towards that. As we move, go on, our requirement if increase, we are looking at the cost-effective technology. We are looking at everything which can be done in India, which can be manufactured in India, which is the cheapest kind of. So everything about make in India, and we are promoting all those good practices. Not only through this, we are encouraging startups in each and every field. They are coming with the innovative ideas of saving water, or maybe doing these practices and all those things. So we are encouraging all those aspects, trying to learn how we can be more and more cost, because once we go for the mass kind of doing the mass activity, so we have to look into the cost. So cost is coming down, and the things, technology is now locally getting available. Maybe more technology, more simple technology will be there available, most cost effective. So we are looking into that, and wherever need based, we are already doing that.
Okay. Now we'd like to close this press conference, but before that, I take this opportunity. We highly appreciate your concern, which is being conveyed by your very relevant question. And with this, I'd like to seek permission of Chairman CWC to close this press conference. And I
relevant to world, to India more, because we have more popular about it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.